Good morning, Rap Freaks. Lexiot's here, and it's Thursday. We're doing Thursday Think Tank, and I'm asking people what they think of the Paris Olympics in general. It's not necessarily about the basketball programs, but we could focus on the basketball stuff. But it's also just in general, Paris Olympics. What do we think? So, welcome to Thursday Think Tank. Go ahead and espouse your opinions. I've had some nasty French fans come into my comments recently. I just have one thing for y'all. Fuck you. Listen, I feel like it's so pathetic how France has had to have help for their basketball team. I really do. You guys are just like the Lakers. Adam Silver wants to write storylines with Bronny and Bron James. Well, they want to write storylines for your alien boy, Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, it's no denying it. And well, let's see what happens today when Germany plays y'all. Because man, I'm gonna tell you right now, Germany has beat your ass already in these Olympics. Consistently beat your ass in the last couple of years, just like Canada had been beating your ass the last couple of years consistently. So, what's the difference? The Olympics are in France, and there's some officiating that's trying to control the game. So, yeah, go ahead and call me a crier, a whiner, whatever y'all French fans want to say. And I'll say, fuck you, France, for your bullshit and you needing help, hand holding. For you got the tallest guy in the game, and you still need your hand held. And why is he so pathetic he can't make a layup next to the basket at 7'4"? That's ridiculous. So, French fans, you can have your fake bravado and pride about your basketball team. It's shallow, hollow, and it's a fake. It's a fake. And if y'all get help today against Germany, the whole world will be watching and know exactly what a fucking sham y'all are, just like Donald Trump. Yeah, the truth will hurt because everybody can see right through it. The truth about the French national basketball team is that it sucks and that they had to hold out the defensive player of the year in the NBA because it sucks so bad. Yeah, if they come in here and start talking to me, I will talk to you directly, you French fucks. So don't even try and come in the woodwork in the middle of the night and write dirty shit to me in the middle of the night. I'll fucking cuss you out live, bitches. Yeah. I hope they do come in here. Come on in. Just like The Rock says, come on in. I'll cuss you out to your fucking face if you want to come into my stream, you bastards. Yeah, all right, here we go. Trevor J. They like that kind of talk sometimes. I have a very good French friend named Nico from Florida. And this is how we talk to each other. Fuck you, you fucking Canadian bastard. And I'll say, fuck you, you French piece of shit. That's what we said to each other. And then we'd hug. I love you, Nico. Yeah, all right, Trevor J's here first. Good morning, Raptors family. Those who spend their time looking for their faults and others usually spend no time to correct their own. Damn, Trevor. Sometimes these are too heavy. Listen. Canada has faults for their basketball team, for sure, and we're going to fix them. There's been a wake-up call. And SGA and Dylan and RJ, they realize it's going to take a little bit more to get to the right levels in Olympic competition. I don't know where they're playing the next Olympics. It depends on where they're playing. If they're playing somewhere where they have a pretty good basketball team, well, that's the team we got to look out for, apparently, because the home team's getting all the favors in the Olympics these days. That's just how it is. So, yeah, I mean, I like what they're saying after this. I mean, listen, they understand that in some ways it wasn't totally fair deep down, but they're not going to publicly say it. Another thing that I really like is that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander made himself available to the press after the loss. And that was not something done by Giannis Antetokounmpo or Nikola Jokic when they lost games earlier in this tournament already. In fact, when the U.S. beat Serbia, Nikola got the hell out of there and wasn't available for the press. When Greece got eliminated, Giannis took off. He didn't want to talk to nobody. Well, Gilgeous-Alexander, he faced the music, and he got in front of the reporters like, a professional, a good guy would, and, gave him the quotes. Yeah. I mean, he wanted to go 6-0. We went 3-1. Well, to figure out 6-0, well, he's going to think about it. He's going to dream about it. He's going to materialize it over time, over the next 4 years of this cycle, 2028. Yeah, we'll come back. And we'll come back with a vengeance. Hear me now and know it later. That's right. Trevor's got another little piece of information here. Actually, let me do Leo's life tip real quick because it kind of goes along with what Trevor said. Some things break your heart, but fix your vision. And, of course, he's still feeling it himself. He's invested in this. He's an Olympian for Canada in basketball. He wants to see the success. He felt it just like we all felt it. He felt it like the team felt it. Leo Routins. So yeah, sometimes this kind of thing has to happen to break your spirit, but you will fix your vision for next time and understand what it takes. There you go. All right, Trevor saying more rumors about Christian Coloco could be returning sooner or later. Looks like the Raptors have a chance of getting him back. Yeah, I've speculated about this so much in the last week, not hearing anything about the fitness to play panel's decision on Christian Coloco's health, on whether he's allowed to play in the NBA, that it's taking so long. Well, Aaron Ben Rose coming out with a report yesterday saying that they're still mulling it over and that it's still going to be a couple of weeks before they decide. Now, but he says it's going to be a couple of weeks. So it's going to be August still. So I would say this, guys, Coloco verdict on whether he can play will happen before the end of August. And it's sounding like his management and sounding like with the Raptors that we are holding a spot open for him. We have 2 roster spots open currently right now. One is actually still guaranteed. And that's the crazy thing. I didn't realize this, is that one of the spots is open because Vishenkov's gone. That spot is a full roster spot that is open to be played with in front of people like Bruno Fernando or a possible Coloco coming back. So, and also, this is good too. Clutch and Coloco's camp has made it be known that the Raptors are not ruled out from him returning to, as far as the team that he's going to come back to. So this is all good news. It's just no news was sounding like bad news, but it's apparently because the NBA right to fitness committee or whatever, they are taking their damn time and they're really pouring over it. I mean, in some ways, they've got to make sure that this guy can be playing liability wise without any health concerns where he might just drop dead on the court. So they have to do their due diligence and they're figuring it out. But the timeline, I didn't know it was going to take so long. So it's going to take about a month for them to deliberate and figure it out. And they're about halfway through the process. So we should get a ruling on Christian Coloco before the end of August. And it's looking really like the stars are aligning that he will come back to us, hopefully. Now, I said this yesterday. I feel like Bruno Fernando's insurance, just in case. It could very well be if Coloco does a swerve with Rich Paul and they decide, well, he's back, but he's not coming to Toronto, guys. Sorry. Well, we got Bruno Fernando to jump into that spot guaranteed for the season. And it sounds like Masai and Darko are perfectly happy going the Fernando route just in case Coloco decides to give us the shaft with Rich Paul and say, yeah, we're not coming back to Toronto. So in some ways, the flexibility and smarts of the Raptors front office is at hand once again, just in case we have options. And that's something that our front office has always valued, flexibility. And Bruno Fernando, well, in some ways, he may be better than having Coloco because he's more experienced and he's got a bigger, stronger body in some ways. But yeah, Coloco coming back to the Raptors, in some ways, that's just right because we didn't need to lose him when we did. And in some ways, he's our guy because he's our draft pick. And I don't know what the NBA rules are. Why can it be that Chet Holmgren can sit out a whole season because he gets hurt at a program? And why couldn't it just be that Coloco had to sit out for a season? Well, I understand roster spots and all this kind of stuff, but you can give him a injury exception for Chet Holmgren. Why wouldn't you do that for Christian Coloco? I don't know. Maybe it's because he's not a big enough contract. I have no idea exactly. But I'm just saying, Coloco's news has been good from yesterday. And Aaron Rose, I begrudgingly give you a thank you for getting information out there to clear up the air about the status of Coloco right now. Very, very good reporting when you're not teeny boppy reporting trade speculation and other bullshit that you like to do. Yeah, this is good stuff. This is good news. Naco the Nacho is here, Gerald Mayhew. If you see the name Gerald Mayhew on a comedy marquee, that is the stand-up comedy stylings of Naco the Nacho. And hopefully you'll step in and support the man while he's up there telling his jokes, doing his thing. That's right. Wiggins is a polarizing figure, but he probably would have helped. Maybe Shaden Sharp would have helped too. Good score. That's yesterday's stream, talking about who would have helped, stuff like that. Well, Shaden Sharp is very young, and much like Delano Banton, he's very raw and not polished enough to, in some ways, even play in the NBA. So playing for FIBA, once again, I'll make the example of Nebhard right from the last game. He was shell-shocked in that game against Paris, France. And the way that he did not produce and kind of ran up and down the court and didn't do anything, well, I would say Nako is very likely that Shaden Sharp or Ben Mathurin even would be just as shell shocked in that kind of situation. In some ways, it would have been nice to have them there to feel it and get it over with, to feel it, just like Nebhard. But I don't think I could depend on Shaden Sharp to contribute for Team Canada in a reliable way in some ways. That's what I would say to that. As far as Wiggins, no, I really do believe this is true, Gerald, that in some ways, all right, what did they say about Wiggins? They said that, all right, we need to protect him for his trade value, and we also need to figure out what's going to happen with him. I don't think the Warriors want to keep him. And in some ways, as much as it's bad for them to say Steve Kerr said he couldn't play in the Olympics, it's a good cover for the fact that maybe he wasn't good enough to be on our Olympic team. Because honestly, if the Warriors are worried about something, they're worried about trade value for Wiggins. And I still believe that the guys who didn't make this Canada team were not good enough. And that in some ways they save face by saying bullshit like, oh, well, Steve Kerr is not letting Andrew Wiggins play on Team Canada. And Steve Kerr has no problem with that because he knows it's good for the Warriors, and he doesn't care if Canadian fans are mad at him. And everybody can speculate, oh, he's still mad at us for beating him in the finals in 2019. But I'm just saying, I really do think that Andrew Wiggins is not as good at this point as y'all think he is what I'm saying. In some ways, he had a okay part of the season this past year, but there were parts where he was hurt and he didn't play at all. And then there were other parts where he was not good at all when he was on the court. So that's what I got to say about this, Gerald. We can't just think that players are just magically as good as they were earlier all the way through their career. And there's so much time taken off by Andrew Wiggins in the last 2 years, and respectfully for a good reason. But man, that's what I'm saying, y'all. I was speculating that Wiggins wasn't good enough to be on this team, and that might be right. Monique is here, the super fan. Monique Lawrence, the greatest. Good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Christian Coloco news is very interesting to me. I know. I'm glad they dropped this because I was starting to think, man, this young man's just a sad story where he's never, ever going to get back. But I think there's a lot of good hope. I mean, it does say in that article they solved the mystery of his clot problem and that doctors have reversed it and that they have been trying to get him fully right back. Now, it could be that they needed to do tests periods of time, like this week, next week, to see the progress of how the problem is decreasing. And that is why this fitness to play panel is taking so long to analyze Coloco, is because he actually has to come in a couple times over a period of time to show that the numbers are getting better and that he is going to be all right. So, yeah, all right. I love it. I want good things for that young man. He's a great young man. I appreciate Christian Coloco, and I really, really do want him to get his NBA career back. I really do. Most saying, if we are only Canada basketball, they were 50-50 to me. The women's huge decision to make, in my opinion. Okay, if we are only Canada basketball, they were 50-50 to me. The women's have huge decisions to make, in my opinion. Yeah, that's what a lot of the press people are saying. That the failure of the women's senior team for Canada was really bad, and that there may be issues. Much like the soccer team's going to have to shuffle up and deal the people who are in charge, the coach, and the people who are because of this stupid drone scandal. Well, in some ways, Canada for basketball, women's, they may need new leadership or new people in charge there because there was failure involved in their team this year. And, some of the players are good. We have a good pipeline of young ladies coming in to play basketball in Canada also. I don't know what the exact level of really greatness is coming, how many WNBA players we have on our Team Canada team, but over time, I'm sure we'll get more and more because the sport is growing all around. And I don't know. I fully support a shakeup of the leadership of the women's team because it does seem like they were a huge fail this year at the Olympics. It's too bad. Cowboy is here. Bradley, good morning. And good morning, Raptor Freaks. I heard Flynn signed with the Spurs. Yeah, yesterday. There was news from Shams that a one-year deal has been struck between Malachi Flynn and the San Antonio Spurs. This is very interesting to me. Now, I have questions. They have not revealed whether this is a guaranteed contract or not. This is the time of year where the teams are kind of filling out their complete training camp rosters. And sometimes they'll pick up somebody like we just picked up Fernando, and it's a 1-year deal, but it's not necessarily guaranteed. So I don't know. Is Malachi on the team this year for 1 year, or is he going to training camp to try and fight for a spot and he'll get cut before the season starts? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. It's ambiguous. It is not totally clear. At least he's got a chance to try and make the team to play next to Wemby and Chris Paul. But is he going to be on that team? Is he good enough? That's what I'm wondering. I don't know. Eric Flynn's smiling, I guess. But like I said, this is the season of non-guaranteed contracts, and they didn't tell us whether it was a guaranteed contract or not. And I'm wondering, is Malachi trying to fight to get a roster spot on the Spurs, or does he have a guaranteed contract? They didn't say. They didn't detail that part of it. So, yeah, but Malachi, yes, has a team he's attached to at this point, and it's the Spurs of all the teams. Yeah. Nako saying, I think this is Malachi's last year in the NBA. Okay, hang on. That's interesting. It jumped ahead. Maybe he sticks or he makes a lot of money overseas. I think that in some ways he may be close to doing what Jordan Nwora just did. Jordan Nwora obviously has an NBA dream, but there was some big money in front of him from Turkey. And that Turkey money, well, beckoned him to go overseas to play over there. Maybe the calls just weren't the same. The money wasn't lining up. We know that the salary cap in the NBA now is really hurting middle players. And some of those middle players can make more in overseas now at this point. So it's interesting. In some ways, it's turning out to be like there's more places where basketball players can make more money than just in the NBA. I mean, now some of the college players are going to stay in college because of the NIL. And some of the middle average players that aren't totally that good are the best. Kind of like some of the guys are going to go overseas, just like Patrick Beverley and Jordan Nwora. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting how everybody kind of gets sorted out every year and where they're going to go and play in the summer. Yeah, it's very, very interesting. And Malachi, I think you're right. I think that Malachi would be better off in Europe. Honestly, I know he has an NBA dream. Well, you've had it, bro. You got 50 points in a Detroit Pistons jersey last year. All right, let's keep going. Monica's saying Andre DeGrasse always the best. Screw Noah Lyles. All right. This is track and field. I don't totally know what happened because I'm not paying attention to the Olympics really. I do know this, that Noah Lyles has his fingernails painted. And people are making fun of him for being fingernail painted and making fun of Dwayne Wade for standing up for him and stuff like that. That stuff's silly. Of course, Noah Lyles is a very controversial figure for his statements about world champions in the last couple of years. He's the one who said, why do they say the NBA champion is the world champion? Because they don't compete against the rest of the world. They just compete against the NBA. And a lot of people came at him for that. In fact, he did this thing at the Olympics after he won his gold. He went into the USA cafeteria, and the team USA for the basketball team was there. And he was like showing off his world champion gold medal. Yeah, in some ways, I understand his point, and I agree with it to a degree, but he's controversial. Now, I don't know what happened between him and DeGrasse. I heard that DeGrasse failed, and he did not do well. I'm sorry to hear that, Trevor. I know you're a family friend of Andre DeGrasse. But it is what it is. This is, the Olympics. And I saw that photo finish the line and how close it was. It wasn't just like two guys were at the line. There was like 6 or 7 runners all right next to each other running across there. And judging and determining who wins that race, that's not easy. That's not easy. So they're saying the chest. It's when the chest goes across the line. That person wins, not the person who sticks their foot out across the line first. So, yeah, it's controversial, but it is what it is. It's track and field, and it's not really my sport. But we're going to talk about track and field. Let's talk about Canada's dominance in the hammer throw. Yeah, we have the kid from Kamloops that went out there and did what he did. Well, a young lady went out there and won the women's hammer throw this week also. So Canada dominates the world of hammer throw. I mean, in some ways that makes sense. Don't our people lug around lumber and throw it around at sawmills? Of course we're good at hammer throw. It's in our DNA. I am Canadian. I don't know. It's all good. Smooth saying if Germany doesn't win this game, the fix is in. I believe this. I totally believe this. We'll see how they do it. And we're going to have to see how this goes down. Germany should win, honestly. Seriously, they are a way better team. They have good teamwork. They have good chemistry. And France is the opposite. France does not have good chemistry. France is not connected like Germany is. And that's what we're going to see today, whether it's going to be some weird shit. Now, this is what I'll say to people. If you watch that Germany-France game today and you see all of a sudden that Germany has some weird not connecting chemistry like Canada did in their game against France, know that this is part of the subterfuge, that there is a way to fuck up a team's chemistry between each other, between the refs, and a very aggressive, off the leash defense that's allowed to do whatever the fuck they want, like France had in the first quarter against us on Tuesday. So that's what I'll say. Look for that. I can tell everybody what to look for today for the cheating. Look at the foul calls, obviously, like we did. Look at missed calls because they call a phantom call like they did on Japan. Look for also how they call shooting and non-shooting fouls and whether they're going to do something crazy like a take foul all of a sudden and not going to call take fouls for the other side. So, yeah, watch with your eyes wide open, world, and understand that IOC and Paris Olympics might be script writing to get France versus USA in the gold final. Today is the day they can execute their plan finally. USA, they're going to be there because they're good, and they're going to get there on their talents and on their own self. France is not going to get there like that. They've already gotten too far with the help of the officials and everything else. And French guys, you can say I'm crying and whining. No, I'm just telling you what I saw, and it's true. And I think a lot of the world agrees with me. Japan agrees with me. If y'all French people just want to be Laker Nation and say, no, we don't get help. What are y'all talking about? Yeah, you sound like Laker Nation during the NBA season. Yeah. So, I'm sure there's French Laker fans that are just totally delusional about the world of basketball. I'm sure there are. Yeah, let's see. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Yes, Lex, I agree. It's Wemby coming out for marketing Olympics and NBA. I mean, we got to understand this. In some ways, it's not always the sports betting. It's the advertising money. It's to build the legend. It's to build the whole iconic kind of battle. In some ways, they've done this in the past. The USA could be in trouble at times in the past, and they may get a little help just to keep them in the picture because they mean this. They mean this. And honestly, this is the matchup they want. It's not as flashy or interesting if it's Germany versus USA. It really isn't. And in some ways, it would have been pretty cool if it was Canada versus USA. That would have been fine. But they really want the big enchilada. They want that other one. Whatever. You guys script right? Well, you lose the integrity of another pure basketball fan thinking that this is actual competition and not script writing. Yeah, you go ahead and go in the world of Vince McMahon. Yeah, it disappoints me because I just want a pure, unadulterated, real competition in basketball. Well, my last hope is the WNBA. And speaking of the WNBA, guys, there's something on Twitter this morning that is awesome. This was just posted at 6 a.m. this morning. They have the contest up to name the WNBA team for Toronto up right now. Shoot your shot. Help us name Canada's first WNBA team. Submit your ideas at the link in the bio. And there you go. So there you go, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get the link out of the bio. And I'll let you guys go ahead and do this, man. So here we go. I'm going to copy the link and I'll put it in the chat so y'all can find it. And you know what? I didn't think we are going to be naming the WNBA team today, but if y'all want to put some names in on the think tank today, that's a think tank subject. I want to know what y'all think. What should we name our WNBA team in Toronto? Because the link is up and the contest is open. And let's not let a whole bunch of children name our team. Let's get some good adult names in there. I don't mind Raptors. Raptors is an amazing name. And the kids were awesome for doing that Jurassic Park stuff. But let's see what we get for our name for our WNBA team. That's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Yeah, Cool Cat, good to see you this morning. Dap to you. Fiercey, good morning, fam, and happy Thursday. You know what, guys? I got to do something real quick because this Thursday is not a normal Thursday. This Thursday is the birthday of Fiercey Salsera, guys. Happy birthday to Fiercey. Happy birthday to MJ. Happy birthday, Fiercey. I hope you have the most amazing day. Yeah. I did the lyrics different, so don't sue me for trying to get royalties. Happy birthday, people. Yes, y'all. It is the great Fiercey saw Sarah's birthday today, y'all. So put the birthday love in the chat for Fiercey. Yes, MJ. I hope you have a fantastic day, a perfect day for you. That's right. David Saborn is here, the commissioner of trivia, the stern voice in the trivia world of Raptor Freak. David Saborn is here. He's saying good morning and dapping in. You know what that means, guys. Let's get it going here. 9:33 is the time for time for the card. Let's see. All right, first person to write the full name of the person on the classic card will get the points for the classic card. I don't want that one. I don't want that one either. I keep putting the ones that I don't want on the sides, and I'm pulling from the sides. I don't know. Okay, this is a good one. We'll do this one today. This is a good one. Third one's the charm. All right, guys. First person to put the name in will get the points, adjudicated by David. David will tell you how much he thinks this card is worth. So let's see it. I'm going to put it away from y'all a little bit, and I'll bring it up. Now, that looks like that is a particular team that's easy to figure out if you look at the jersey, but it's very hard to see who it is. So let's bring it up close. Let's see if y'all can figure out who that is. Jimmy Butler? Seymour, that's a good guess. That is not Jimmy Butler. That is not Jimmy Butler. Derrick Rose. Kareem, not a bad guess. That is not Derrick Rose. We are on the right team. That is not Chris Dunn. That is not Derrick Rose. Fiercey Salsera. You know, this is an interesting player. You wouldn't think about this player on the Bulls, and he is an NBA champion. I would say that. D Wade, no, and don't half-ass me. Don't half-ass me. Yeah. I would say this, guys. You know how I say Fred VanVleet is the greatest undrafted player in the history of the NBA? This guy may be in the running with him. And he's one of the names that we always say is one of the greatest undrafted players in the history of the NBA. So that may be the right clue for you guys to figure this one out. Patrick Williams. No, that's not Patrick Williams. Randy Brown. That's an interesting guess, Seymour. That's a throwback and a half from the old champion Bulls in the 90s. It's not Randy Brown. Let's just say this guy is no, it's not Andre Drummond, but that's the right position, Kareem. You guys are finally hitting the right position. Yeah, let's see. What's another clue I could give that doesn't give it away? So this guy won a championship with a division rival of the team that he's in on this one. And also, like I said, he's undrafted like Fred VanVleet. So in some ways, he's in that conversation as one of the top 3 ever undrafted players in the history of the NBA between Fred and Moses Malone. Yeah, Amari Stoudemire is not right. That's not right. Where's Smooth Brown Man? He might know who this is. David's going to give some good points. There it is. Seymour got it finally. That is Ben Wallace, Detroit Piston champion Ben Wallace. You could not see the fro, so I understand why that took so long. Seymour Pape, get in it right. It is center Ben Wallace, undrafted. 150 points from David. Whoa, the card jumped out of my hand like a jump ball. Yeah, that's Ben Wallace of the Bulls at that time. Good job. 150 points to Sheriff Seymour Pape of Calgary, Alberta, Canada, getting the hard-working Ben Wallace. Look at you, Seymour. You got a classic card. It's been a little bit. Nice to see it. Look at that nice red card. It's very like an eye. It looks like an eyeball. It's like he's the pupil of the eye. It's very strange. Yeah. Ben Wallace, y'all. It's the classic card of the day. Boom goes the dynamite. Good job. Thank you, David, for your adjudication. And thank you, Seymour, for getting the classic card. Nako saying, oh, oui, la baguettes. Listen, all right, let's talk about the Paris Olympics a little bit more. What was that fake out at the beginning of the Olympics or the open ceremonies, making everybody get all mad about them making fun of the Last Supper, but it's a fake out? In some ways, I respect that. The right people were getting mad about that. And in some ways, I can't get mad at France for that. You know, in some ways, the artistic designer of that had a creative vision. And, well, that creative vision was very intricate, and it really pissed some people off. Now, I get it. Some people are like, the Olympics are a family event. Why do you have junk hanging out all over the place and stuff like that? Well, it's the French. In some ways, that's just kind of, they're provocative. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I mean, the things that I don't like about the Olympics are all the controversies and the blatant open like rigging of certain things. That's the thing I don't like about these Paris Olympics. But, you know, the locale, the city is amazing. Paris is a beautiful, beautiful city. There's no denying that. And there are a lot of great French people over there from all around the world. I love France because it is the place where the social unrest and social movements really come in full effect. In fact, I want to look to the leadership of the people of France on how to revolutionize their world and their politics. And I wish we could be more like that over here in North America. They give a shit and they take to the streets. So I'll say some nice things about France, even though I'm pissed at them right now for railroading our basketball team. But yeah, that's how I feel about it right there. There you go. Wee. Yeah. Let's see. Seymour saying, I'm still hurting from the loss. Huge disappointment. I know. I am too. It's tough. It is what it is. But I'm not going to let them have no more of my tears or sadness. I'll hold my head up high and understand that we're coming to get that revenge still. I wanted these youngsters to get revenge for their fathers from before in 2000. Literally, Rowan Barrett to Rowan Barrett. But it couldn't happen. So the revenge will go to 2 levels, and we will come and get it at some point. Trust me. Trust me, we will. I say this on this day. Hear me, French national team and other teams in FIBA that we will play in Olympic competition in the future. Canada is coming for you, and you better be ready because we've got 7-footers coming next time. All right? Yeah. That's what I'm going to say to that right there. Nako's saying, to Giannis's credit, the media was pretty rude to him earlier this year or last year after getting eliminated. Yeah, but was that the NBA media? I mean, it's true. There could be even more rude kind of media in France, for sure. I mean, I don't care. Giannis is a coward to a degree. In some ways, if it's not easy for him to talk to people, he won't do it. In some ways, like, I get it. In some ways, he should get a pass because he's the only legitimate player on Greece from the NBA that is like the guy who's carrying that team. And if anybody doesn't need to get grief for the failures of Greece team, it's not Giannis, because Giannis is the guy who's actually helping them the most. So, I mean, I can agree with this to an extent, but still, this is something that is an honor in sports that they want to talk to you. Even in defeat, players are supposed to be available for the press. And that's what I want to give kudos to SGA. You can give a pass to Giannis if you want, but I'm going to give kudos to SGA. How about that? Yeah, Monique is saying, hey, Lex, please confirm if you can. Is the NBA schedule really out? Trevor posts so much in the group. I'm confused. It's not out. I think what Trevor posted in our chat is this. Hang on, let me pull it up. And Trevor, you do post a lot of stuff. I really want to. It's not that I don't like it. A lot of it is pretty good. It's just that it's a lot to take in all at once. And yeah, let me just see. There's something he posted something about key dates for the NBA season. That's not actually the schedule. It's just a key dates thing. And this is it, basically. There's got the Olympics on there. Then they've got October 4th and 6th. There's going to be games in Abu Dhabi between Celtics and the Nuggets. The NBA Canada series will be in Montreal on October the 6th. Of course, we know that. Raptors versus Wizards. They've got the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame Enshrinement Weekend in Springfield, Massachusetts on October the 12th and 3rd. The NBA season will start on the 22nd. The NBA Mexico City game between Miami and the Wizards will happen on the 2nd of November. The in-season tournament at Emirates NBA Cup will begin November 12th. So basically, it's just all the dates, Monique, of when the season's starting and ending. It's not the schedule. It's just basically, this is the date the in-season tournament will start. This is this. It's not the actual schedule. It's just key dates for the NBA season coming up. Smith saying the one concern I have with Koloko is that he already lost a year of development. He's so raw that having him on the team might be a waste. I don't think so. I think this. All right. You know what? He's been very much involved in basketball, even though he physically couldn't do anything. He was around our team for most of last year. He didn't get waived until like late in the year when we absolutely had to let him go for room because we got hurt so bad. Remember, he was kind of lurking around for most of the season and hanging around our team. Now, this is the thing. He's been very active recently. Since he got the green light from his own personal doctors, he's been working extra hard to get in the right shape and to overcome his problem. So I know this is a good concern, and I believe you're probably right. There is going to be some rust, and he may be a little bit behind in his development where he should be right now because he did miss a year. But I think he's still very worthwhile. When you think about the agility and the moves of how quick he can get around the court and his wingspan, this guy is good. We need to try and continue with him. And, just because Chet Holmgren missed a year, it's not like the Thunder tossed him into the garbage because of that. So I would say The idea of me in my head is having two great young Cameroonians on our team running up and down the court as Twin Towers, blocking everybody's shots between Shamshe and Koloko. So no. If we can retain Koloko also, yeah, let's get some Ralph Sampson, Akeem Olajuwon in 2025 going with two very spry, very athletic, long wingspan centers from Cameroon running around on our court that can play at the same time with each other in the court. Just think about that, Smooth. Just think about the idea of Shamshe and Koloko playing alongside each other. So I'm going to say, no, there's no waste in this. We wasted so many years with Malachi Flynn. No, it's not going to be a waste with Koloko. Trust me. There'll be a payoff in the end. Seymour saying, of course, the committee is taking their time. I'm sure they don't want to bless us. I really do hope we get Koloko. Something's got to give. I think it is, Seymour, what I'm saying, that they have to track his progress and they have to see real results in the numbers. So they come in, they say, this is where he's at with this. Okay, this is the concern level. If you can drop it down below this number, then we'll feel more better about it. And we just want to see progress. Well, the doctors are saying they solved it. Well, the NBA to play fitness committee wants to make sure, because they don't want no kind of like liability or weirdness because a player shouldn't have been playing that they allowed out there. And all of a sudden he has a very grave, serious health concern because they did let him play. So I think that this is going to all get figured out in the next 2 weeks, and that we will know this. Like I said, before the end of August, we will know where Christian Coloco's future is for this season. I'm telling you right now. Yeah. Yeah. Smooth saying, not that he can't play, just the time it will take will be long, especially if Toronto wants to be good sooner than later. Well, that's the schedule we're on. In some ways, it's great because he'll come in at the same level with Jacoby and Jamal Shed and Jonathan Mobo and Grady Dick and all those guys. It'll be kind of, he's at the same level with a lot of them. And that's what we want. We're rebuilding, right? So we're not expecting to be a top level competitor. We need to put the time in and teach these youngsters. And Koloko can come right back into school and get taught all at this level also. We've got to understand, we've got to measure our expectations for winning this season. And the Raptors, if they invite Koloko back, well, he's going to be further along than Ulrich Shamshe. But they're, they could both sprout up and get really good right around the same time. That's what we want, right? We want a bench mob. We want a team that's coming up through our ranks that's going to do really well on 905, that's going to come up and really challenge our starters and make our team very good. That's what we're looking at. Yeah. So the time point and all that, we'll figure it out. Seymour saying, good point by Smooth. Brian's here. What's up, Freak Nation? Mad, unfortunate that Canada's men's team is eliminated. Yeah, I'm mad about that too, Brian. Y'all check out To The Point, a great YouTube channel on basketball, Canada basketball, and Raptors basketball. Always good to see Brian check in. Let's see. Smooth saying, rooting for CK though. Yeah, watch. I think it's going to work out. I mean, listen, let's be ready for anything. We're going to be ready for any of the different outcomes with Christian Koloko, whether it's he's denied and the NBA says, no, you're still not healthy enough and you can't play. Well, all right. Whether he is allowed to play and he decides not to come back to Toronto, well, we're going to be like, okay, that's your decision, Clutch and Rich Paul and Christian Koloko. So be it. But, in some ways, like I said, Masai and Bobby are given flexibility and outcomes and possibilities no matter what happens. And Bruno Fernando, Ulrich Shamshe are, good replacements just in case Koloko is not coming back to Toronto and all of a sudden he's on another NBA team. So as Raptors fans, we need to be ready for any outcome with Christian, because in some ways it's not totally up to Masai Ujiri, even though it should be, because he's his draft pick. That's what I would say. Yeah. Seymour saying, I'm more disappointed in the men's team. The men overlooked their food and was watching USA team. We ran before catching the ball, underestimated our competition. I won't disagree. In some ways, we were a little too overconfident and maybe a little too jokey. In some ways, we got hit in the face in the beginning of that game, and we just didn't react well afterwards to getting back into it. And there were things holding us back. So I'm very disappointed in the men's team. I know that we don't pay attention to the women's team as much, and that maybe if we did, we'd understand just how disappointing it was that they didn't win a single game. And that's why, Seymour, in some ways, there's a problem with the women's senior team, is because they didn't find success at any level. They lost every single thing they played, and that's no good. That's no good. Now, I love the 3 versus 3 ladies. I have them in the picture for today's stream. They are really good, and it's too bad they got 4th place and just missed on the medal stand. But like people have been saying, some people didn't even know 3 versus 3 basketball was an Olympic sport. We have great 3 versus 3 tournaments in Toronto during the summer at different times, and a lot of fun games are had, and people in the community come out and play each other, and it's a kind of a cool kind of vibe. In some ways, it's easier for you to get together 2 of your best friends than getting a whole 5-man crew and a team to compete in this. And well, I think that the notoriety and the spotlight put on the 3 versus 3 with the Plouffe twins is going to make a boon in competition and people wanting to compete in that sport, and that's awesome. Because in some ways, nobody knew there was 3 versus 3 at the Olympics in a major way until now. And I want to see more young women and men coming to play that competition. So in some ways, that's going to grow better and better just from the notoriety and spotlight put on it. That's right. That's right. That's right. Let's go. Let's see. Smooth Sand, no guarantee there will be a 2028 for the men's basketball team. This is true. In some ways, once again, the process starts over that you have to qualify for the Olympics. And it's all the same kind of tournaments, including the FIBA World Cup. So we'll have to go and play in the FIBA World Cup once again to, probably earn a spot that way or through one of the qualifiers before. There's a couple different ways you can earn your trip to be one of the 12 teams that go to the Olympics. That's right. Only 12 teams in the world get to play at the Olympics. And to be one of those 12 teams, you've got to earn it beforehand. And, well, I feel good about our Canada team figuring out a way one of those situations for qualifying to get the Olympics. But he's exactly right. You don't just get the invite. You have to kick ass. And it starts at the lower levels with the under groups that you build it up. That's right. Cool Cat saying DeGrasse, one of my favorite athletes, always support him. He is not healthy this Olympics. Also, we have to consider Father Time. He has been around for a long time. His legacy is intact. Yeah, he's a great name in Canadian Olympic history and just in general, a great athlete representing Canada at different times. And yeah, I think that Cool Cat's hit the nail on the head as far as, he's getting up there. And this is just part of what happens. Simone Biles is ready to go off in the sunset. Everybody's asking, what are you going to do next? It's like, we need to stop doing this. I just want to rest. Don't you understand how much I busted my ass to do this for this Olympics? Y'all quit bugging me about what's next for me. Well, it is like that. You get up there and you've been an athlete in a couple of Olympics. I was thinking this morning, RJ's Olympics 2024. He's like 24 years old. He can be at the Olympics at 28. He could be at the Olympics at 32. He could be at the Olympics at 36. He could be at the Olympics at 40 even. So how many Olympics will RJ Barrett get to play in his lifetime? He's played his first one now. Well, I'd like to see him play like 4 or 5 more Olympics in his lifetime. That would be awesome. That'd be so awesome. All right, let's see. Butt Dial saying that hammer throw guy was deemed Australian and had to do a DNA test from what I read. All this because he didn't look Canadian. What the fuck is that? No, that was a joke by somebody on Twitter. It was stupid. It's just a dumb joke. Of course he's Canadian. And it's just some idiot getting online trying to be funny, trying to get a dunk and saying, oh, that guy doesn't look Canadian. We got to test him for Australia. That's just a joke. That's not true. That's something we got to realize, Kareem. There's a lot of people just putting stupid shit out there. And some people may think it's real. Why would anybody do that? No, they don't do that. It's not like he can show up at the Olympics. In some ways, this is some sort of joke that's supposed to go along with the boxing scandals that have happened. No, it's a dumb joke. I mean, in some ways, maybe you're piling on and trying to piggyback on it and bring it in here. No, he's from Kamloops. He's Canadian, and somebody's just trying to be funny. Seymour saying, I couldn't even imagine walking around France and seeing a pickup game going on, and we lost two to them. Sad. Yeah, any ideas for the team name? Yeah, I don't know. I seeing a pickup game going on and we lost two to them. Sad. I don't know what you mean. Pickup game? Either way. Listen, I don't know if those Canadian guys hang around in Paris after they lose. There was somebody who asked this question. It's like, what do athletes do after their event's over and they've lost? Do they hang out for the whole time? I mean, some of them probably do. They're probably like, I want to just enjoy the experience and enjoy being an Olympian, and I'll hang around and meet people. I'll commiserate with people in different places around the Olympic Village. I'll go to other events. I'll wait around and I'll go to the closing ceremonies and have a good time and smile. I don't know. In some ways, like maybe some of the NBA guys on Team Canada's national men's team are like, well, I have sponsors. I have other things I can do. Maybe, the islands are calling me and I'm going to go rest. I don't know. Maybe we'll see them in the closing ceremonies. Maybe we won't. Maybe we won't. Maybe they're like, we don't deserve this. SGA and RJ and Kelly and them are like, yeah, we don't deserve to go to closing Olympics. Let's just go home. Yeah, I don't know how they handle this. I really, really don't. I really don't. Yeah, all right. There's the link, guys. Go in there and give them your ideas for what you think the WNBA team in Toronto could be named. Teresa and Larry want to know what you think and put it in there. Cool Cat saying Toronto Renegades. That's interesting. Now, that team name has a very special meaning for Scotty Wayne Barnes and myself because that is the name of the horse that they use at Florida State football games to have the guy come out and throw the spear into the crowd, into the field, not into the crowd. That would be crazy. Like if they threw the spear into the crowd, that could be dangerous. No, the flaming spear of Osceola, Chief Osceola of the Seminole tribe, comes out on Renegade and throws the spear down. Now, before people get all PC police on me, this has been a brokered agreement between the official Seminole tribe of Florida. And this is why they're allowed to still use this mascot at Florida State, is because a lot of the money on the merchandising and the image of the Seminole tribe goes to the actual Seminole tribe. So, and I grew up across the street from the guy who kept the horse. And I saw the horse on game days. We parked in the horse trailer across the street from a house on the morning of a FSU football game. And that was Renegade, the name of the horse. So, in some ways, that's for me where the importance of that name comes from. And in some ways, that word is very much associated with indigenous communities being, I don't know. I don't know about that. Toronto Renegades. I don't know. I mean, I get it. And in some ways, I kind of like it. Toronto Slappers. This is what you've got, Seymour? Like, what do you mean slappers? Like, this slaps, man. This slaps. Or we're going to slap the shit out of you. You come into our arena. I don't know. Allentown, bam, son. Toronto Slappers. What about Toronto Clappers? That could mean a couple different things right there. Yeah. Cool Cat saying, seeing we are treated like outsiders, Renegade's going to explode on the scene. Okay. All right. I'm picking up what you're laying down there, Cool Cat. We're going to be renegades in our league because we're the only Canadian WNBA team. That sounds familiar. Yeah, Toronto Renegades. Does it sound good? Maybe a little bit. I don't know. It's such a Florida State nickname for me. It makes me really, really think about my university that I went to. Yeah. Let's see. Fiercey saying, thank you for the birthday wishes, Lex. No problem. Very, very happy to have a great birthday wish for Fiercey. And well, there's a couple other birthdays today also, guys. We're going to say happy birthday to Raptors draft pick, Alex Radojevic, guys. Happy birthday to Big Radojevic, one of the most infamous big man picks by the Raptors that just was bad. Rafa Rojo is another one. Well, Alex Radojevic it's his birthday today. He was like a 7'4" player, guys. He was very tall. In fact, I think Radojevic is technically the tallest player in Raptors history. So happy birthday to the tallest Raptor ever, Alex Radojevic. It's also the birthday of Garth Joseph. And some people would say, what, Garth Joseph? Who is he? Yeah, he was a big, huge center guy who played for us also. And in some ways, I liked him having kind of hockey names. It's his name. He's Garth Joseph. It's like Garth Arg or Curtis Joseph. Or, there's a lot of hockey players named Garth. But yeah, Garth Joseph, it's his birthday also. So MJ, Alex Radojevic, and Garth Joseph, the Raptor Freak birthdays of the day. There you go. There you go. There you go. Seymour saying happy birthday to Eye Candy. There you go. I love it. I love it. I love it. Happy birthday from Cool Cat to Fiercey. And Monique also saying happy birthday to Fiercey. I love that. All that. You guys are awesome for that. All right, let's see. We're getting to the end of the classic card of the day. Seymour saying slappers. All right, slappers. Pythagoras is saying France beat the brakes off Canada fair and square. Stop crying. Pythagoras. Listen to me for a second. Listen to me. You sound like a Greek philosopher. But in some ways, it's all Greek to me, what you're saying here. They beat the brakes off of us. Yeah, 8-on-5 with the help of the 3 referees, handicapping us, holding us back, not letting us play our defense, but allowing y'all to do whatever you want, slap around, do this, that. Fair and square, quit crying. Why dost thou protest so much? Weren't y'all already caught with a bogus ass outcome against Japan? Like, that game shouldn't have went to overtime. That was not a 4-point play. You can make the 3, but the 1 extra point off the free throw was not warranted because the Japanese player did not touch the French player. So why do they have to make the dots connect so that France beats Japan? Because they would have gotten eliminated in the opening round by Japan the week before they even played Canada. So I don't know, French guy or Pythagoras motherfucker, wherever you're from, Greek, French, fucker, whoever the fuck you are. I'll say this. There was no foul on that play. Nicolita should never got a free throw. And y'all wouldn't have even gotten it overtime against Japan. So you go ahead and tell yourself your little bedtime stories about, lie to yourself and not understand the whole hand holding that FIBA and the whole shebang is doing to get Wemby against the United States. And we're going to see the third fuck up that's going to happen today where you guys are going to get help against Germany. Now, I'm going to say I'll be happy if Germany and Dennis Schroeder are in the finals against USA, because in some ways I'll be like, that's how it should be, because Germany is the FIBA world champ and they are the best in some ways other than USA. I'll honestly say that. Now, if somehow, some way, there's some screwy ass shit today and there's some very blatant help for France once again, we're going to all say it and see it. And y'all can have your hollow ass bullshit. It's all going to happen a certain way anyway, because USA is going to win the gold and beat whoever's ass gets in there anyway. So you go ahead and feel real good with your bullshit. You needed a helping hand. You needed help. You needed to cheat to get there. You going to say fair and square? Stop crying. I'm not crying. I'm speaking facts. And I didn't even talk about the Canada game just now. I just talked about Japan. And I'll talk about Germany later on today if you guys want to script write real quick. So you go ahead. Are you a freelance script writer? Do you send manuscripts to Hollywood? Because you go ahead and write some scripts today against Dennis and the German team today, and we will talk about it tomorrow, and we'll point it all out. The game hasn't even started, and I think I already know the plot for today. So you go ahead, French guy. We, all over yourself and your ecstasy over your fake ass bullshit run in the Olympics this year. You have been handheld by the 3 officials in the last 2 games that you won. All right, there you go. Now y'all can kick them out. Let's get the fuck out, you Pythagoras motherfucker. Adios, amigos. You are gone, motherfucker. There we go. All right, Fiercely saying thank you, Cool Cat, Seymour, and Monique. That's right. We're having a birthday party in here. We ain't got no time for some silly ass French fans who think they're winning fair and square. You are delusional. That's what I'll say right there. Yeah, that's right. David said, beat it, man. Beat it. Yeah. Kareem saying, happy skin out, Mrs. I. Candy. Happy skin out? What does that mean? That sounds crazy to me. I hope she's okay. Yikes. Fiercely saying, at Pythagoras, so the whistles are fair as well? Fuck out of here. I love it. Good job, Fiercely. Feisty on her birthday, like she should be. Yeah, thank you, Butt Dial. And David's saying he has no idea, likely didn't even watch the game. Yeah, I don't know. Like, listen, this is the thing, and this is what Laker Nation does too. The bubble championship, they always, everybody says it's a bullshit championship, but they fight so hard to try and verify it, to try and, oh no, they had everything against them. Bullshit. That was such a weird environment. The NBA could script write very closely, very close to the chest, how they could script write that. So in some ways, look, you could go ahead and be in the delusional world, just like a MAGA person is for Trump, French fans, about what's going on with you. The rest of the world sees it, and it doesn't even have to be me. It doesn't have to be the Japanese version of me, and maybe not even the German version of me later on in the day. We can go ask impartial fan of basketball how they feel about things. I mean, hell, I heard Sam Mitchell. Somebody said Sam Mitchell even said that the refs were fucked up yesterday. And Sam Mitchell is no friend of Canada in some ways. Trust me. So Sam Mitchell former Raptors head coach and coach of the year, is coming out and saying, it looks like the referees are kind of messed up today. We can go get impartial judges on this. It doesn't have to be a French person like Pythagoras or whoever the fuck that was. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be somebody who loves the Japanese team. We can go get some other fans of the around the world and go ask them how they feel about these games that have happened with France, the last 2 games in the Olympics with the men's senior team. We can ask an impartial person that watches basketball and see what they fucking think. How about that? And you'll probably find out that we're the ones that aren't delusional and crazy, and they see what we see. You go ahead and live in your own little world and say, oh, no, they're so good. They're so awesome. That's why. Nah, bullshit. Bullshit. There you go. There you go right there. There you go. Let's see. Smooth saying, I only know the 90s. So he doesn't know 2000s, which Ben Wallace inhabited. That's right. Bud Dial saying, Pythagoras, A plus B equals C. Your ass out of here. You know what? Dunk for the cool burn on the French guy or whatever guy. He sounds maybe a little Greek because that Pythagoras is Greek. I think it's all Greek to me. I don't give a shit. All right, so Butt Dial, you getting a dunk for burning him so well. ABC yourself to the door, my guy. That's right. That's right. This is a clubhouse. You may be able to come in here, subscribe for a little while. Doesn't mean you get to keep the subscription. I don't give a shit about how many subscribers I have. I will kick every motherfucker out that I want. It's just the way we do things here. So, all right, let's see. Where is he? Where is he on this list? I forget. His name should be under his real name. There it is. All right, we're going to give you a 3-pointer. You got 217. And that's what? I want to see 17 on Team Germany. Kill it today. Breaking the record in the Olympics for Team Germany in the history of the Olympics. Dennis Schroeder with the most assists ever for a German player in Olympic Games. Congratulations to you, Dennis. And go out there and beat the shit out of that Blues team, the motherfuckers in the host country. Yeah, beat the ass. Go and get them Wagner brothers. Beat their ass. I'm all for it. You go there and Thyman and all you guys get out there and kick their ass. I'm all about it. That's right. Cool Cat saying, love our riches of centers. Finally overdue. Shamshay, Carlson, Pirtle. Hopefully Koloko can get the return. Yeah, Olenek. Yeah, we've got centers now on the Raptors. And it's nice, isn't it, Cool Cat? It's almost like they were listening to us, Cool Cat. Somebody heard us on there saying, Cool Cat and Lex really want centers on our team, Bobby. Well, maybe we can do that in like a year or so when we rebuild the team in the summer. All right, cool. Let's do it. Yeah, Brian's saying happy birthday to Fiercey. Cool Cat saying our current women's basketball team needs to get our younger players on board. Even in the WNBA, our current roster is not performing well, so I expected it. Okay, interesting. So it's kind of like we needed to let the older players get their last hurrah and start infusing the young talent. In some ways, there's parallels to the men's team with this. In some ways, I could say that. Yeah, I could see there's some parallels there in some ways. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see. Fiercely saying thank you to Brian. And Seymour saying thanks for the Florida State history about the Renegade horse. Yeah, no problem, Seymour. Yeah, it was such a childhood memory for me. And of course, growing up in Tallahassee, we very much that team. It's like the team for the city. Bobby Bowden was like the mayor of Tallahassee when I grew up. He was so beloved as the coach of the Florida State Seminoles college football team. And, I went to games as a kid, and then I ended up going there as an undergrad and going to FSU games as a student at Florida State. So there's a lot of special meaning to that school. In some ways, I've turned my back on that school because in some ways, I have problems with it, but there's a lot of rich history and tradition in my life that comes from Florida State. And yeah, it's cool. I've had so many crazy memories while I went there. When I went there, Charlie Ward was our Heisman the first year I went to Florida State. And then, of course, he went on to the Knicks and played in the NBA. And then my last year at Florida State, Chris Wanke won the Heisman, and we won the national championship both those years. So I was around national championships in college football in my university years at Florida State. Yeah, and I was even working for the radio station as a broadcaster, and I got press passes to go to the games, and I'd interview the players after the game. So I do have a background in legitimate sports broadcasting in school. And I did do a lot of the stuff like the press conferences, asking questions, and doing radio reports afterwards on the air. So that's a little bit why I got some professionalism on this channel. Just a little bit, but I do it my way. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Trevor's saying, I will be paying attention Germany versus France game today to see any funny shit. Yeah. Yeah. Eyes wide open. And let's just see. Now, the trademark has been this, and they did it kind of in other games and around the Olympics, is hit them early, mess them up early, and make the team you want to win have a huge margin ahead of the other team that they have to make up. And that's usually how they try and do it. That's been the protocol so far. This is exactly how they did it with the France-Canada game. If that is what it looks like again today, where Germany looks really unruly and not together because of disruption of the referees, and France blitzing them all kinds of crazy with physicality, because wink, Nicholas Batum, the referees have told France they can do whatever the fuck they want before the game starts and just start mugging them with physicality. And meanwhile, we're going to frustrate the Wagners and Thiemann and Daniel Tice with every single thing they do to France. We're going to call a foul. And we may even put some of their key players, like somebody has said, in foul trouble. If we see Dennis Schroeder get 2 quick fouls in the first 2 minutes of the game, that's a telltale sign. You see Franz Wagner in trouble with fouls all of a sudden, that's a telltale sign. Those are the ones right there. I can tell you exactly how they'll do it. And a French guy who's still watching me, listen to me, hear me now, and see it later, and understand I want to fuck you up on the court at some day. That's right. Let's go, Wagner's, Mo and Franz, Hans and Franz coming to kill you. With all respect, I love the Wagner brothers. I really do. I used to make fun of them a couple years ago with the Hans and Franz. But now I'm fully a Germany team fan, and that's Dennis Schroeder being a Raptor last year. Dennis, you will always be an honored and loved Raptor. I want you to know this, and that down the road, even though you only played a half season for us, you were like on our team for 6 months. I will always honor you. And if you come back to Toronto and you want to wave to the crowd, I will cheer for you. And most Raptors fans should also. It's only the knuckleheads that may not be all about Dennis Schroeder. Well, you knuckleheads, you go ahead and keep being knuckleheads, is what I'm going to say. Monique says, Toronto triumph. I like this one a lot. You know, this is what you got to do. You got to have the alliteration. In some ways, it's good to have a T with a T. And in some ways, Toronto triumph sounds amazing. That's a great name, Mo. I like it a lot. I like it because, well, that's what we want. We want to triumph. And in some ways, I don't know how we call the players. Maybe we call them the triumphants. It's like, well, the triumphant players. It's like, I don't know. Either way, I like it. This is one of the better names I've heard so far, Mo. Seriously. I haven't heard this one until just now, too. So really, really good one, Mo. Toronto triumph. How does that feel, guys? How's that fit? I don't think it's bad. I think it's very good. Yeah, Cowboy saying happy birthday, eye candy. He's got the cake out. He's got all kinds of party favors. I love to see that. That's right. Kareem said, I love that name, Mo. I think the team needs to start with a T. Yeah, I'm with this on this. I'm totally with you guys on this. That's kind of a good sign when people kind of are on the same page with it. You know what? Let's go look at what some people are writing in the comments on this post on Twitter with the WNBA, asking what they think we should name the team. Let's go look at what the people are saying so far. At the very top, the first name is North Stars. We've heard this one before, Toronto North Stars. I don't mind it. I think it's okay. But the only thing about it is, isn't there a hockey team that's been called the North Stars in the past? Like, wasn't there the Minnesota North Stars in the NHL in the past? I don't know. In some ways, that we want something original. Somebody has put in Monsters, Toronto Monsters. Now, is this a Pixar fan? Is this like Monsters Inc. or Minions? I said this the other day. I was like, what are we going to get? The Toronto Minions? Because that movie is the big movie right now. Despicable Me 4. And so like you let kids name the team. Are we going to be the yellow little goggle guys? The Minions? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Monsters doesn't make no sense to me either. I'll say that right there too. This lady's saying Toronto Phantoms. And she's saying because of the local legend that the Elgin Theater is legit haunted. Well, that's not the only place that's haunted in Toronto. I could go over a whole list of places where there's a lot of hauntings in Toronto. Trust me. There's a jail over by the DVP at Broadview and Girard that absolutely is haunted, full of old, sad prisoners that died in there in really bad ways, torture and shit. Yeah, there's another prison that was over by Strawn and where David lives over there, not far from where David lives in Liberty Village. There was a big prison there that had all kinds of really, really bad human rights violations and some very tortured souls in it. Trust me, there's a lot of phantom behavior in Toronto. Yes, Toronto Phantoms may work, honestly. It may be. Here's one saying Toronto Tigers. Tigers? That's not bad. I mean, there's no tigers in basketball, is there? There's tigers in baseball, the Detroit Tigers, and that's fine. Where's another team that's tigers? Well, there's LSU Tigers, right? In college football, the LSU Tigers. You know what? That's not bad. If we were the Tigers, now where's the local connection between Tigers and Toronto? At the zoo? Maybe. It's a little bit of a stretch there. Toronto Tigers sounds good though, like Toronto Triumph. But Triumph has more meaning than Tigers, I would say. All right, there's a list this guy's put down. He's saying Toronto Huskies. Now, we've already talked about the Huskies name and why this team should not be called the Huskies. Toronto North Stars also on his list. And then the last one he's got is the Toronto Unity. I actually kind of like that because unity is something that Toronto is all about. We have such a diverse city with people from all around the world that live united. And there's also on the sly the T in it, the unity. So Toronto Unity is not bad because that T is in the second name also. It's just not at the beginning. So very interesting suggestions so far we're seeing on there. Yeah. I like Mo's the best so far, though, right now. That's the one I like right now. Toronto Triumph. For some reason, that's really hitting nice right now. Really, really hitting nice. Trevor's saying men and women's 4x400 relay team made it to the finals for Canada. Awesome. More excellence in the Olympics for Canadian athletes. We need to win more medals, guys. We have like 16 medals altogether, I believe. Alan Tam, bam, son. Where's your medal count for us? I believe we have like 8 gold or something, 6 bronze and 4 silver or something like that. That sounds about right for our medal count. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, I didn't know the history of Florida. I rescind the name. How about acknowledge our surging raccoon population? Toronto Lotar. Lotar? The renegade name is very important to the Osceola tribe of South Florida. Osceola tribe is known as the Seminole tribe. Sorry, Chief Osceola was the chief of the Seminole tribe. The Seminole tribe in Florida was the one tribe in the country of the United States that went unconquered. This is something they're very proud of. The Seminole tribe in Florida, when they came and they did all the bullshit with Trail of Tears and like the really awful things that we did to indigenous people on this continent, really, really bad. The Seminole tribe lived in the swamps, in the Everglades, in the south of Florida, and that terrain was so difficult to have warfare on. And they successfully held off the people and kept their tribe nation intact in the Everglades, away from the explorers, the white explorers from Europe. And so that's why the Seminole tribe and the FSU team uses the moniker Unconquered, which is because that tribe actually was not ever overrun and taken over or conquered, so to speak. And to this day, it's a very, very wealthy tribe because they own the Hard Rock Cafe in Florida. They own casinos like crazy, and they are very wealthy. And they are also very wealthy because of the deal I talked about earlier with the university. So yeah, the Seminoles are doing real good. Let's just say that. And they call themselves Unconquered, and they were renegades because they went against the plan that the United States government had at that time. So yeah, thank you to Cowboy for the birthday wishes from Fiercey. And Toronto Lotar. I don't know that word Lotar, but that has something to do with raccoons. Cool guy saying, quick side note, my favorite Siakam was at Real Madrid practice camp in North Carolina. He acted so much like a fan, laugh out loud. Athletes being a fan is the same as us over their faves. No, this is true. Siakam's been just in bliss. You know, in some ways, Siakam's living his best life. And I love that, man. I love that so much for him. And him being, I've seen how giddy he is. All right, let's do the Instagram story since you brought it up. He's posted stuff in there. First, we'll go to Precious. Precious has traveled to France, I believe. He's in France now for the Olympics, and he's at art museums. He's got an interesting picture of an art piece on the wall. It's got a white aristocrat with a servant of color behind him. It's an interesting picture that Precious has posted. And there he is in the museum with his ripped jeans, looking at some guy in a cowboy hat. And yeah, it's just Precious being a tourist. There's also some shoe museum he's at. Let's see what else. Gary Trent Sr. is fully in Virgo season. He's just celebrating being a Virgo like myself, and he just loves the Virgos. He's a Virgo identifying person. And yeah, Gary's funny. He also posted this message. He said, if people want to know why Generation X is always mad, it's because we had to replace our record collections with tape collections, and then replace the tape collections with CD collections. And then we slowly replaced that with an MP3 collection. And now we need a subscription to listen to music. Yeah, this is kind of true. My generation and a lot of y'all's generation had to go through all the different formats of music. And they kept making us have to pay for the same album in different formats. Jamal Shed is out there working out. He's putting in that work in different places. We see him in different little friendly games and traveling. Of course, he's got his production crew filming him and what he's doing in his life. So we should expect more episodes from Jamal Shed about his life and his journey as a basketball player. He's got that open gym crew for himself already, guys. So be ready for Jamal Shed content like crazy, not only on Open Gym, but on his own channel. Chris Boucher must have had such a good time at that Pro-Am because he just keeps posting pictures of him at the Toronto Pro-Am that recently happened at the Metropolitan University of Toronto. So yeah, really good stuff. Always love seeing Chris put his stuff up there. He's at OVO Center putting more shots up too with coaches. So Chris is putting that work in. He's showing a dedication. Who knows? Maybe he'll have a different dimension to his game this year. That's something that maybe Darko challenged him to go do this summer, and that makes him more worthwhile to play for the Raptors this season coming up. Mari Moore is celebrating Sixth Man of the Year, Aaron Ray of the Niagara River Lions. So a CBL player celebrating a CBL player's accomplishment as Sixth Man of the Year. There you go. There you go. Let's see what else we got. We got Grady Dick, who's saying that at his camp in Wichita tomorrow, the campers that show up are going to get exclusive Topps cards, trading cards that you can't get anywhere else. And I'm looking at the card, and it's got him in his red suit from the draft and his glasses. So it's a very cool Grady Dick, a trading card of him from the draft in his red suit. Malachi Flynn posting him at a Pro-Am recently. Of course, that's his natural habitat. And we've seen him play very well there. Of course, he was playing alongside an inebriated Klay Thompson while he has been playing there. That's what I noticed in the clip there. DeMar DeRozan had his birthday yesterday, and he's got a very serious look on his face. DeMar, once again, I will say to you, my guy, Toronto loves you. Toronto fans love you. In some ways, when you were on Kendrick Lamar's video recently, you made it confusing. But we love you. And listen, we're always going to be a Raptors legend, no matter what. Just come and get your kudos. We want to retire your jersey. We want to make you a hero after you retire. You finish your career in the NBA at someday, no time soon. But we want to honor you and make you really important in the Raptors history and alumni and honoring you. And you can't shit all over that, please. So please, we know you love the fans, right? And you're only talking to, I don't know who you're talking to when you talk through Kendrick Lamar. You love the fans, right? You love the Raptors fans because we love you. We didn't trade you. We didn't like it when Masai did that to you. We didn't like it. Trust me. Oh, my God. Do I have to tell? I want you to know that. We didn't want them to trade you at that time. I was so mad at Masai for a month that summer in 2018 when he traded you. I was mad at our front office. I was like, why the fuck did they do this to DeMar? They sold him out. I was so pissed. You've got to understand we love you still. And we didn't have nothing to do with you getting traded. We were very happy we got the championship. But in some ways, listen, bro, you can't be mad at us. We're your fans, and we always have been. That's what my plea to DeMar DeRozan on the day after his birthday. Yeah, there's the clips that Cool Cat's talking about with Siakam coming out on the court to say hi to the Real Madrid players. He's smiling like a little kid. He's so goofy and giddy and happy to see this. It's so funny. And she's exactly right. It's always fun to see where athletes that are really well known and top notch get like fans. It's so fun. Wubs is saying happy birthday to Kira right now. Jacoby Walter, I believe that's his sister. I'm gonna guess that's his sister. He's saying happy birthday to his sister today, Jacoby Walter. Jameson Battle is celebrating Tyler Wall. I'm not sure. He must have signed with the team somewhere else. And yeah, Legacy Scotty decided they want to drag up a moment that's very embarrassing for Scott, that got him in a lot of trouble in some ways. And I don't know why you do this, Legacy Scotty. I know you have access to a lot of the Twitch stuff that Scotty did, and you like rehashing it later. But he's brought out the old clip of Scotty calling the fan a dick eater when LeBron made the dunk at the offseason thing. And remember the last time this happened, the LeBron fans came after Scott after this. So Legacy Scotty, just so you know, if you do this, you might get this inflamed again. And Braun Nation might start coming after Scott because they were mad when he did that day. And in some ways, Scotty learned a tough lesson that summer in 2022, that you don't mess with Braun Nation, even in jokes. So I'm just saying, Legacy Scotty, you love Scott, right? Don't get him in more trouble with Braun sexuals is what I'll say right there. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Thanks for the Instagram stories, Cool Cat, for telling me to go look. That's right. But I was saying, I like Toronto Tribes. It pays homage to the indigenous cultures, not only in Toronto, but the whole of Canada. That's an interesting one. It's a little bit. Now, this is what I will say. I like the thought of it, what you're saying, Kareem. I think that it's well intentioned, but the word tribe is actually very divisive. In some ways, tribal warfare was between indigenous nations, and it was brutal and it was bad. In some ways, the word tribe is pulling people apart in some ways. So I don't know. I like unity better because it's like everybody together. But tribal warfare, tribes, that's like two tribes come to war. You know, Frankie Goes to Hollywood shit. Yeah, in some ways, the word tribe is more not unifying as a unity in some ways. I get what you're trying to say, and I think it's a nice sentiment, but it may have the wrong kind of effect in the long run. Yeah, Blackhawks here. Big up, Raptor Freaks. Big up to you, Neil. Hope you're having a great Thursday so far. Blessings to Fiercey on her Earth Day. There you go. Another birthday wish for one of our Raptor Freak MVPs, MJ. We love MJ so much. It's her special day. Very happy birthday, Fiercey. Have a fantastic week from Wayne Strainer. Fantastic. Smooth saying Chris Wenke was drafted by the Blue Jays. I did not know that. That's interesting. Of course, I remember him going into the NFL and playing for the Carolina Panthers for a little while. But yeah, he didn't really make it big at that level, but he was a Heisman and a national champion in football at Florida State in his senior year. And that was the cool thing, was we had like two Heismans within my college career and two national champions. So it was an amazing time to be at Florida State. The football was real good then. That was before Jimbo Fisher and all that stuff. Yeah, Bobby Bowden era was awesome. It was so awesome to be down there. Yeah. Yeah. So you got drafted by the Blue Jays for baseball, just like Danny Ainge. Interesting. Interesting. Smooth saying happy birthday to Fiercey. I love it. Thank you to Blackhawk, Wayne, and Smooth. You're getting everybody's birthday wish today, Fiercey. That's right. Fiercey likes I Like Toronto Triumph also. In some ways, that's a great name because in some ways, being the only Canadian team in leagues, it's a triumph if you win. So it's already built into it. So there's going to be a huge triumph when the WNBA team wins their first championship in Toronto. Yeah, it'll be a triumph, and the name will already have it. It'll be awesome. Yeah. Monsters? Nah. I was like, I keep thinking of that big, goofy monster on Monsters, Inc., the blue guy. Maybe I think a little bit of the Muppets on Sesame Street, like Cookie Monster or Telly Monster or Harry Monster. You know, what are we doing with our lives? Monsters. Do we want the women to be called monsters? That's mean. You know, I don't think any woman wants to be called a monster. Hey, good morning, honey. You look like a beautiful monster this morning. What did you say? You know, that's like, Wayne's saying his comments are not transmitting. I don't know what's going on, Wayne. I'm trying to read every single comment. So please keep going and keep trying. We'll try and get you through. Alley-oop to Fiercey. You know, we're going to give her a 3-pointer because it's her birthday. Actually, let's give her a 10-pointer. Why not? It's her birthday. Let's go. 177, Fiercey. You're at 177 dunks now. A big 10-pointer from us. Cowboy saying later, Lex. All right, Cowboy out. Cowboy out. Let's see you. And Raptor Freaks. All right, you want me to do the ad real quick, guys? Tada Services, cleaning services, 647-833-6844. Franchises available. Call for a free quote. Tada. That's right. There you go. Mo's saying, I'm getting a ton of feedback on Toronto Triumph. I posted a while ago on feedback, and it was nice to see the feedback. Okay, on Facebook. You posted on Facebook. Yeah, that's a good name. I honestly really like it, Mo. It's one of the better ones I've heard. It's a top 3 names so far that I've heard, honestly. I'll champion it on this channel if you really want to try and get more steam for it. I will politic for it, Mo. I'll politic it. Teresa Resch. Make that team Toronto Triumph. Yeah, that's what the superfan Monique Lawrence said. That's right. That's right. Wayne's saying Raptors shooting coach has to be the most accountable development enabler next season. We need to see demonstrated positive results on the floor. We win games hitting shots. All right. I like what Wayne's saying. Now, is the Noah still involved? Is it one of the shooting coaches? Do I need to come down there? No, I mean, this is true. Now, all right, what are the things we've done since Nick Nurse left the team a season ago, and he said, good luck with those guys, is that we've rehashed the character of our team over the last year, the very difficult season of transitory season from the age of Anunoby and Siakam and Fred to where we are now with a Scotty-centric team. Well, they built guys around Scotty that are more better shooters than often. Now, Summer League's not a good place to gauge this. In some ways, those guys weren't ready at that time. I really believe in the shooting of Jacoby Walter to the future. I obviously feel real good about Grady Dick. There's a lot of different players on this team that they can get their shooting better. We're going to be in good shape. Now, RJ's showing better strides with his shooting recently. Emmanuel Quickley's a bona fide badass shooter who can get all kinds of shots up in all kinds of different ways. So we're just going to have to see how this recipe works. In some ways, this past season was not a good test because too many guys were hurt for too little of a time was all together. And in some ways, we didn't really get off the ground running really with a good run of barbecue together. When Scotty went out, that was way too early in the season because we had a whole stretch run where we should have seen way more Barnes and Quickley together. Well, let's see it for the whole season from the start, and let's see what that chemistry and that feelings and the connection is between those guys. And yeah, letting a guy like Gary Trent Jr. go may be scary to some Raptors fans right now because they feel like we need good shooters, and he was one of our better shooters. But just trust me on this. Other guys will rise to the occasion and maybe more consistent in that spot in those minutes with Gary gone. So, I want to say we want room for Grady more. We want room to see what Walter can do. We want more RJ. And those are the things we should get. That's what we should get this year. Toronto, Wayne's saying Toronto Vibers, like vibes, man. Vibers. Vibers. Now, I could make a hop, skip, and a jump to the next part of that word, and it has an aiders on it. Yee! And it's some ways in women's sports. I don't know, Wayne. I don't know. D-Ice. D-Ice X. Cool. Good, cool name. I like it. He's saying Toronto Amazons. I kind of like that. That makes you think of Wonder Woman. It kind of makes you think of Paradise Island and Wonder Woman and the Amazons there. Amazons are supposedly very tall women, and basketball players are very tall women. So in some ways it works. Now, are we in South America? Are we a part of a company that's owned by an overlord named Bezos? No. And in some ways, if this is free advertising for Amazon, I'm not about it. No, I'm not. I'm not about naming our team after one of the biggest conglomerate bullshit companies in this world right now. So I'll say no on this one, DIX, with all due respect, just simply because this is one of the biggest corporations in the world ruining our world right now, honestly. Some people love Amazon because they get stuff to them quick. Not me. I see all the mom and pop stores. They ran out of business over the years, and just how hard it is for small business because of a juggernaut like Amazon out there at this point. So, yeah, it's an interesting, but welcome and good to see you, DIX. I hope you'll come into the chat more often with us. Most saying W stream, W vibes. Keep at it always, Lex. Good times are approaching, and good times are almost here. Go Raptors for life. Raptor Free Crew, strong forever. Yeah, we are strong. And you know what? It's been a disappointing week, but we will survive, Gloria Gaynor, and we will go forward and we will go and strive for achievements and success in the future, whether it's Team Canada or the Toronto Raptors or the WNBA Toronto Triumph. That sounds real good. That sounds real good, Mo. I'm telling you, Toronto Triumph sounds really good. I'm telling you, oh my gosh. All right, let me go over my tabs and make sure I didn't miss anything I want to talk about. Oh, real quick, guys. This is something Mo posted for us in our chat on the Raptor Freak Facebook chat, exclusive chat. If you're a member of this channel, you get access to it. This is what they have written about this season for the Raptors 30th anniversary season, some of the stuff they're going to be doing. And I wanted to read this specifically. They're saying, in addition to the new logo, fans can participate in several commemorative moments and events throughout the year in arena, at home, and in community spaces. So let's break that down real quick. They're going to have certain commemorative moments, which means it's probably they're going to do things on their anniversaries, which is something we like on this channel with our Monday moments, memories, and stuff like that. So there are going to be moments that they want to recollect. Like, it's interesting. They put out this picture of Akeem Olajuwon yesterday in the Raptors jersey. In some ways, I get it. Yeah, he did technically play for us. But in some ways, that's not necessarily like the kind of thing that we want to parade out there, because most people say, yeah, that was a joke. And he stole money from y'all when he came out there. I mean, I get it. In some ways, the illustrious career of Olajuwon being connected to our team and being a part of our history is there. But also at the same time, it's kind of shallow and kind of hollow, guys. Come on. And I love that Akeem did play for us. And that summer, I'm going to tell you, I was so excited that summer when we did get him. It's really weird. I was working at Pizza kiosk behind the IMAX at Ontario Place with Pizza Chris, and we were working in the stand. And I remember the news when they said Olajuwon was going to be on our team. I was ecstatic. I was like, man, our team's going to be so good with Vince Carter and Akeem Olajuwon on it. Yeah, well, Olajuwon wasn't exactly Olajuwon anymore. And but it was really cool, the anticipation. You know how it feels when you get a player and you're like, oh, this is gonna be so good. We got this player, but then it doesn't kind of work out. Well, there was definitely that with him. So yeah, there's gonna be moments and events throughout the year in the arena, at home. What does that mean, at home? At your house? Are the Raptors gonna come to your house and do things at your house? I don't know. In community spaces. Yeah, they've done a lot of different community events around the city. They'll have like basketball tournaments at different courts, Raptors official ones. And of course, they're going to be doing these jersey giveaways in different parts of the city, as they've always done. That's a really successful, fun thing. The scavenger hunt, when they show up, and we're at this place in Toronto, first person to get here is going to get a Manuel Quickley jersey or something like that. They'll probably do that. I'll bet you. They'll have some commemorative purple Raptors jerseys, and they'll have like a Scotty Barnes one, and they'll be down at Union Station on the corner, and they'll be like, whoever finds me first will get this jersey. They'll probably do a lot of that this year. Some of these initiatives include game nights honoring different decades of Raptors basketball. That's interesting. So they're going to honor the 3 different decades of Raptors basketball. The 10 years, the recent 10 years, the 5 years going up to the championship, and the 5 years coming down from the championship. And then the 10 years of Bosch and into Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan in the middle 10 years. And then the early 10 years, the first 5 years of Purple Dinosaurs and expansion. And then the 5 years of Vince Carter from 2000 to 2005. So, yeah, okay. You could actually break them up into half decades. They're like 5-year periods, honestly, in the 30. There's 6 5-year periods in the 30 years. Also, a new program launching the City Edition uniform. So what does that mean? The City Edition uniform, is that going to be the Purple Dinosaur commemorative jersey this year? Is the City Edition going to be black and gold, or is it going to be purple this year? Because I could see it being purple this year, and I'm not against that. Like I said, I don't want to do a rebrand where we're completely Purple Dinosaur jerseys forever going forward. I will do a few select games this season where we wear purple jerseys from the past. But otherwise, I don't want us going and being whole, complete rebrand like some crazy ass people in the chat, not in the chat, in the social media comment sections around Raptor stuff right now are saying. Y'all are crazy. They want a total purple brand. Y'all are crazy. You're absolutely crazy. All right, let's see. In a celebration of the 25th anniversary of the 2024 Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame inductee and Raptors alumnus Vince Carter's legendary performance and win during the 2000 NBA Slam Dunk competition. So that's when they're going to honor Vince. It's going to be next year around the All-Star break when he did what he did in Oakland 25 years ago. They'll do it 25 years to the day. It's the perfect day to do it. And I'm telling you, I really do feel like they're going to bring out a statue on that day. And they're going to unveil a dunk champion statue for Vince on the 25th anniversary after he did what he did to make Air Canada effect happen. So that's what I think is going to happen right there. Yeah. Kareem saying, I like the Toronto Triumphs. Our abbreviation would be TTs. Sorry, bad joke. Okay, I see what you did there. It's childish, but we'll allow it. I mean, I don't know. What would they do like for the acronym? Like Toronto TOR, it'd probably be TOR for the Toronto team in WNBA too, but I don't know. Is it TIT? No. Why would it be TIT? It'd be TT TTR? TTR? I don't know. Either way, that's funny. I'll give you a dunk, even though you're childish. But yeah, we'll give you a dunk. Why not? We'll give you a dunk just for dunk's sake. It's not that you're trying hard or anything, but I see what you did there. 218 for Kareem, the dunk champion, with the titty joke. Yeah, and Mo's saying, hope Adriana gets you Alex's book for your birthday. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You're bringing up my birthday. I don't know. I don't know. Adriana, I see her every once in a while. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not trying to get any birthday presents from her. All right, Wayne saying interesting lineup would be to see Kelly and Jakob together on the floor against certain teams. If healthy, our mix can be a head scratcher. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's I've talked about this a little bit with Olynyk playing the 4 at times this season because there's taller guys near him. In some ways, he can just be a goon. In some ways, that's what Olynyk's really good at is being a goon, a veteran goon that knows how to foul people and get away with it and kind of have a impact on the game in a physical way. So we'll have to see. He may be playing like our hockey basketball player this year. And in some ways, he may not play as much this year as he did at the end of the season because, well, our guys were hurt and he had to play because Jakob was out. So it will be interesting to see. It's kind of sad in some ways because Kelly is getting up there. And you saw it with Team Canada, how much he wasn't as much of part of the regular rotation just now at the Olympics. In some ways, that was a fail by Jordy, especially against France, because that France game had Kelly Olynyk kind of fingerprints all over it. Literally, we should have had him out there fighting the same way France was against us, against them, dirty and goonish, the same way. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Cool Cat saying the upcoming season will have lots of tributes every game. I don't know if they'll be every game. The first NBA champion tribute is going to be fire. Bring the group back for an honor, and then individually for those currently playing. That's an interesting idea. I think that they're going to wait on that because it's too soon. We just had the 5-year anniversary of the championship. Maybe at the 10-year anniversary, we'll do more with this. And by then, most of them might be retired by then. Who knows? Some of them won't be, but a lot of them will be. I mean, Mark and Serge are gone already. Kyle will probably be gone by then. So I think it's more likely, especially because of what you just brought up, a lot of these guys are still playing and they're not going to be able to be there. And in some ways, when we do have the first championship team reunion, we want to have the majority of them in the house all together. So in some ways, that's why a 5-year anniversary is not going to be celebrated. 10-year will, possibly, because some of those guys will be off in the sunset in their post-playing days. So, yeah. I think that there will be a lot of tributes, but all 41 home games, maybe they do one little special thing. I don't know if we have enough notable alumni to come and sit in the crowd for every single game. That'd be awesome. I mean, I'm sure the people like Terrence Ross and different people will show up and come back. Maybe Damon Stoudemire will show up for one of them. I'll bet you he will because it is a big deal, and he's the one who started it all. So it'll coincide off of Georgia Tech's schedule probably. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see, Cool Cat, how they go about this. There's going to be a lot of probably the same things that they've done in the past already. And maybe some new stuff also. We'll have to see. Yeah, Mischief saying, good morning, Raptor Freaks and Lex. Paris Olympics referees are whack, and they got paid off. Boom goes the dynamite. The baseman Jay has come in right at the end after the cutoff, and he is speaking the truth. And that's for you, Pythagoras. Go and show your theorem to who cares, because we don't, and ABC you to the door. That's what I say right there. Mischief, you're going to get a dunk for coming in and being the bass man and laying that funky bass groove down. That's what I'm saying right there. Mischief is the man with the bass. That's right. We're going to give you dunk. You're at 10. DeMar DeRozan 10, my guy. You got the DeMar DeRozan 10. Randolph's here late too. Beloved Raptor freaks, most informative gang. Morning blessings to all. Learn the lesson from life's failures and build upon the success. This seems to be a theme between our three wise men today. Trevor J, Randolph Phillips, and Leo Routens, all kind of touching on this the sadness and the failure of Team Canada men's basketball this week. And well, let's learn from it and go forward and be better for it in the future. I'm all about that. That's right. But Dow Sam, 104 dunks away from beating Shaquille O'Neal's single season record. That's how many dunks he had in an NBA season. He had like 300 dunks or something. This is awesome. In some ways, I know you're going to get it. I know you're going to get 104 dunks before the end of this year. So, yeah, you're probably going to beat Shaq's record. It's a different kind of dunk, though. He said, Darko needs to stop messing with Boucher. He got no run last year, and I don't want to see him withering away again this year. W Stream Lex, as always. Go Germany and go Serbia. Yeah, I'm rooting for those two teams, too, although I know the USA is probably going to win. But, man, if Joker and them can put up a little bit of a fight, make it an entertaining game, that'd be awesome. But, yeah, it's most likely USA's got the gold at this point, honestly, just the way things are looking. Yeah, as far as with Darko and Boucher, I think that he has good intentions for Chris. It's just that Darko has a certain idea of what he wants to do. And in some ways, Chris, as a professional, he's got to mold his game to help his coach and the game plan that the coach wants to run. Now, I think that part of the reason why Chris didn't play at the end of the year last year was he would have helped us win. And we didn't want to win at that point. So a lot of people are saying, free Boucher, free Boucher. Well, in some ways, some of y'all are also like, we want to tank. We want to tank. What do you want then? And in some ways, Chris sitting on the bench for the end of the year may have been calculated in that way, that this guy's trying too hard and he may actually help us win with his offensive rebounding. That's what I could see right there. Angry Mexicans here. Good to see Hornets Nation in the house. Good to see you, Hornets freak. What's up, Raptors freak? Have you ever seen an MVP winner and Defensive Player of the Year winner like Joel Embiid and Gobert fall off from regular season to playoffs so much year after year? And has the Defensive Player of the Year award lost prestige because of Rudy? Wow. Big time questions here, and I will allow it because I really do want to pile on this idiot, this big, dumb, goofy Rudy Gobert that everybody's acting like he's a hero right now when he's a chump. And I agree with you on this. Both Embiid and Gobert are similar. They're just big, clumsy goofs that are overhyped. In some ways, listen, Gobert is a good defensive player, but he's an absolute nightmare in all kinds of other aspects in his game. He is so clumsy. He does not fit. And the way that France did not play him the last game was actually so brilliant. That's part of the reason why they won. If they play him, they lose more, and they figure that out. And this is so true what you're saying, Angry Mexican, that Rudy Gobert hurts Team France more than he helps them. It's crazy. Maybe against certain opponents, he's good. But against Canada, he's an absolute mess. Absolute mess. But yeah, I agree with this. In some ways, Embiid should have never been an MVP of the NBA. He's never won anything to the point where he deserved it. In some ways, they don't give MVPs to people unless they get to a certain level in the playoffs. And Joel has never gotten to that point. So he's a fraud MVP. And in some ways, Gobert's won a few Defensive Players of the Year. But the thing about Gobert that bugs me is as his career's gone on, he should be getting better. He's not. In some ways, he's getting worse. So how the fuck does that work? And Angry Mexican is exactly right. As you get older in the NBA, you should be better. He's lazy, I can tell. And he only coasts on his body size. He's not a skilled player, and he doesn't play very well. If I was his height and size, I would be trying to be better offensive player and maybe make my free throws better too. Yeah, he's such a joke. And the fact that people look at him as a hero in France is ridiculous. Yeah, and Embiid's just the same. They're very similar in some ways. Yeah. Angry Mexican saying Draymond on his podcast was basically poking fun at Gobert being benched for Team France. Yeah, and he should. And he's exactly right. I mean, it was a brilliant move. I can say that's how they outcoached us. Jordy fucked up. He didn't play Kelly and Kem enough. And them not playing Rudy Gobert was absolutely brilliant by the French coach. So kudos to the French coach who looks like the doctor from the Love Boat. Yeah, kudos to him. He figured out the right strategy before the game, and he made the right call. Carlos saying that Embiid is one of the most skilled big men in the game, but there's something off with him that leads him to be injured when you need him the most. That's the problem with him. If he just played ethically, I'd have more respect for him. I'd like him, but he doesn't. And in some ways, he's a dirty, dangerous player that doesn't need to be that way. Like if he was just a happy-go-lucky three-point shooting, a Cameroonian center, if he was like just concentrating on his offense instead of falling on people or playing dirty or whining and crying or being a free throw merchant that does not deserve the free throws because a big man like him should not be flopping over from little guys running into him, I'd have way more respect for him. If he did things just, like his 70-point game that he had recently, if he did things like that and he just showed achievement instead of the dirty ass shit around it, I'd have way more respect for him. And because he, if it was just the good things about him, I would think he's a good player. But he has so much stupid ass shit around him otherwise. And some of it's the way he behaves. Some of it's like this shit that he's doing on the court all the time, whether he's doing his dumb playing or whatever the showboating. In some ways, he doesn't deserve the right to showboat because he ain't done jack shit to win nothing. And if he gets a gold medal, which he's likely going to from this Olympics, it's hollow and shallow as fuck too. And Charles Barkley's right. He should be embarrassed. That's what Charles Barkley said about Embiid. He should be embarrassed about his Olympics. He shouldn't be embarrassed that he's playing on USA in the first place, honestly. Yeah. Carlos saying, all right, I read that. He's saying his attitude doesn't help him out. It really doesn't. He's very immature. He's very, very immature. And in some ways, he has arrested development. He did not grow into an adult. He's like a big kid in some ways. I mean, I know. I'm like that. It takes one to know one. Kareem saying players like Embiid never win championships. It's just how it works. No real morals and poor ethics. Well, I've talked about many times why I think Joel will never win a championship is because he doesn't have the durability to make it through an 82-game season and the playoffs without getting hurt. And because he's so integral to his team, he absolutely has to be there for winning. So even if he's healthy for the season, he's going to break down in the playoffs at some point. And he has the right coach to break him down too. I'll tell you that. Yeah, Carlos saying it's really rare to see someone from Africa like Embiid. Most of the African players I see are all likable. Well, in some ways, people have speculated that he's not like Siakam and Shamshe and Koloko because he's from a different part of Cameroon that's a little bougie. It's a little bit like I think somebody was saying that like some of the guys like Siakam are from the city or from the rural like Shamshe. And Embiid's more like a suburbs kid, is what I've heard. He's like a kid from the suburbs in Cameroon. If you want to read into that how you want. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah. Most of the African players I see are all likable. Yeah. And even the ones that have fire and they're kind of like fighting and they're feisty, that's admirable and not like a big bitch like he is. There's been players that have come through that have kind of like had an attitude that have come through from Africa. Olajuwon, Mutombo. Mutombo could have been a very, very controversial player at times because he would get into fricases and fights and his big elbows would hit people. And, oh my gosh, he'd get into it with people. But I always respected Mutombo because he had a very ethical game as far as the way he rebounded and blocked shots. And he's just a good person. And in some ways, Joel missed the boat on this. In some ways, I don't understand. Where was it in his development coming up where he just decided to be an absolute tool bag instead of like maturing and understanding what it means to be a pro and kind of carry himself? I guess it's just different personalities and different people. And his personality sucks. Let's just put it that way. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today. On that note, we'll talk about a fake Frenchman who should have been playing for France in France, but he didn't. He dissed them, and now they boo him at every game, and he's just soaking it up. Yeah, we can talk about big, goofy French guys at center right now. Yeah, Cool Cat's saying Pascal's family was not a poor family. Yeah, I'm not saying he was a poor family. It's they were from the city, and I didn't say that. I just said that he was from the city. He was an urban kind of guy because I think his dad was or was it opposite? Was it Joel from downtown and Pascal was from the outside of the city? I don't know. Either way, I know Siakam's dad was the head of the TTC over there. He was like the head of the transit for his city. So he had a very good job and they were okay. But I've heard that there's differences in the regions where Embiid came from compared to the other guys. And that's part of the reason why he acts the way he does. Those other guys are grounded. Those other guys are kind of like, we're doing it for our family. We have a lot of honor. We have a lot of like respect. And for some reason, Joel doesn't have any respect. That's the difference, I think, right there. All right, guys, thanks for watching me today on this Thursday Think Tank. Lots of good ideas here. I really like Monique's idea for Toronto Triumph. I think it's a fantastic one. Of course, this season is going to be a lot of fun with all the things to look forward to in the 30th anniversary season for the Raptors. Very, very cool that they have the naming contest out for the WNBA team. I hope that people will go and fill out what they think should happen. Maybe they get a lot of the same one they understand, and they're like, they're going to look at them all, and they're going to think about what they would look like in the different ways. It may not be that the highest vote getter wins the contest. It may be that Teresa and her team are going to look at all of them, and they're going to kind of think of all the angles and all the ways that the name kind of fits, and they'll pick the one that they like the best that was suggested, not necessarily the most popular one. I think that that would be the smart idea. Is use us as think tank. That's what we call this show, the think tank, and use your fans as the think tank to come up with some really great creative ideas like Toronto Triumph. That is a badass name. That's a really good one, Mo. And I will push it and try and get it in there as much as I can on this channel in the weeks to come right now. All right, tomorrow we'll do a Friday freak out. I think I might freak out on France some more, especially if y'all keep coming at me with your comments and coming in here even talking trash, Pythagoras and all your other people. The trolls are coming after me because I have an opinion about France being crooked and getting to where they've gotten to in the Olympics. Why do y'all protest so much? Why don't y'all just enjoy your little fake ass ride to the medal round instead of coming and bugging the Raptors freak about what he's saying about it? Why are you so upset about what I'm saying if it's not true? You know, if you really think that I'm not telling the truth, why doth thou protest so much? That's what I would say to French fans that are coming to my channel and saying, you quit crying, quit crying. Well, why are you saying I'm crying? Do you feel like what I'm saying may be true deep down, and that's why you're fighting against me so much? Yeah, because that's what it seems like to me right there. All right, y'all, have a good one, and let's go Raptors. Let's go Team Canada into the future, and let's aim for 2028. Let's qualify and get there and come back and get some revenge. That's what I want to see. All right, y'all, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you feel like joining, membership has its privileges. Let's go Canada, and let's go Toronto Triumph. Maybe.